Hi everyone, Trina here. So, my phone battery died, so we're going to pick up with transmigration of the soul. And we were just discussing Socrates and his belief in the soul and his belief that we go into different bodies and get new ones and potentially even on different realms. And Socrates, their main teaching, and also with Plato and many of the others, the foundation of their school was the exploration of our souls and what are our souls and what does that mean to have a soul, and exploring that perspective. So then they get into the transmigration of the soul. At the center of Platonic thought is the concept of reincarnation and the principle of karma, the spiritual law of cause and effect. Jesus taught the same principle in the statement, "Whatever a man sows, he will also reap." Galatians 6:7. This means that what we do in this lifetime will have a consequence in the afterlife and also potentially in our next lifetime. The universal law allows each soul to learn from our mistakes by personally experiencing the very things we have said and done to one another. Knowledge of both karma and reincarnation as the mechanisms for the soul's evolution is ancient. These two concepts were central to the Egyptians, Celts, Saxons, Sumerians, Persians, Greeks, Romans, Druids, Norse, Finnish, Danish, Persian, Teutonic, Laplander, and Lithuanian. 100 years after Jesus, the Roman philosopher Marcus Cicero, 106 through 43 BCE, wrote, "The ancients, whether they were seers or interpreters of the divine, the mind in the tradition of the sacred initiations seemed to have known the truth when they affirmed that we were born into the body to pay for a penalty for sins committed in a former life." Belief in reincarnation had been found among the Scythians, the Africans, the Pacific Islanders, as well as the tribes of North and South and Central America. It lies at the heart of Hindu, Buddhist, Shinto, and Muslim religions. It was also a part of the original teachings of Jesus, a subject discussed at length in my last two books, which I have not yet read, and I can't wait to read those books. I bet they are fabulous. No other doctrine has exerted such extensive, controlling, and permanent an influence upon mankind as that of the metempsychosis, the notion that when the soul leaves the body, it is born another body. Its rank, character, circumstances, and experience in each successive existence is depending upon its qualities, deeds, and attainments in its preceding life. Statistics show that those who have embraced the belief of reincarnation are usually well-educated, traveled, and affluent professionals. The thread of firm belief in rebirth as woven its long web, unbroken from the dawn of time to the pragmatic present. It has circled the earth again and again, touched nation after nation, leaving not one. Consider also that it has never been upheld by the bigoted nor by agencies of persecution, but invariably by the educated, the open-minded, the wise, the good, and the mystical. American philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson writes, "It is the secret of the world that all things subsist and do not die, but only retire just a little from sight, and afterwards return again. Nothing is dead. Men feign themselves dead, and endure mock funerals, and then they stand looking out of the window, sound and well, in some strange new disguise." The great Russian writer Leo Tolstoy says, "As we live through 1,000 dreams in our present life, so is our present life only one of many of 1,000 of such lives that we enter from the other more real life, and then return after death. Our life is but one of the dreams of that more real existence. So it is endlessly until the very last one, the very real, the life of God." Benjamin Franklin. "When I see nothing annihilated, not even a drop of water wasted, I cannot suspect the annihilation of souls. Thus, finding myself to exist in the world, I believe I shall, in some shape or other, always exist, with all the inconveniences human life is liable to. I shall not object to a new edition of mine, hoping, however, that the errata of my last be corrected," meaning the error of my last lives be corrected. And finally, American novelist poet Louisa May Alcott writes, "I think immortality is the passing of the soul through many lives or experiences, and such as are truly lived, used, and learned. They help us go on to the next, each growing richer, happier, and higher, carrying with it only the real memories of what has gone before." In the Hebrew faith, reincarnation was embraced by both the Pharisees and the Essenes, two of the three sects of Judaism at the time of Jesus. However, the doctrine was edited out of the New Testament by the Catholic correctors, the scribes appointed to censor the entire sections of the gospel for the church's own political and financial purposes. Yet, references to the reincarnation can still be found when one looks very closely. For example, when the apostle asked Jesus about the identity of John the Baptist, they say, "Is he Elijah come again?" And Jesus answers by saying, "I say to you that Elijah has also come." And they did to him whatever they wished, as it is written of him. Mark 9:13. Here Jesus is telling us that John is Elijah returned. Flavius Josephus, 37 to 100 CE, a Hebrew historian who chronicled the history of the Jews 50 years after Jesus, writes, "Do ye not remember that all pure spirits, when they depart out of this life, obtain a most holy place in heaven, from whence the revolutions of ages they are again sent into pure bodies?" The Zohar, one of the holiest of Hebrew teachings and the foundational work of the Kabbalah, reminds us all souls are subject to the trials of transmigration, and men do not know all of the designs of the Most High with regard to them. They know not how they are being at all times judged. both before coming into this world and when they leave it. They do not know how many transmigrations and mysterious trials they must undergo. Souls must re-enter the absolute substance whence they have emerged. But to accomplish this end, they must develop all the perfections, the germ of which planted in them. And if they have not fulfilled this condition during one life, they must commence another, a third, a fourth, and so far, until they have acquired the condition which fits them for a reunion with God. As a clairvoyant who has read for all people, for all over the world, I know that all of us lived before. Each soul has a unique energy, a signature that is different from every other being. When I do readings, I am able to trace the energy signature up to a higher world and open up to my clients' Akashic records to discover the deeper history of his or her soul. Each one of us has a spiritual past with many complex layers. This includes lifetimes spent in other dimensions and on other worlds, many times in bodies that are similar, if not identical to the ones we have now. We also have energetic alliances with animal groups, religions, philosophies, and tribal groups, along with occupational preferences that can be reflected in our current lifetime. In addition, some souls have spiritual alliances with certain masters, angelic groups, gods or goddesses, based upon their past life history. These alliances are well springs to help you on your path to enlightenment. And when we are ready, these beings can assist us on our spiritual evolution. Having traced the records of many thousands of people to discover how their past life history is linked to their present life, I know well how the seeds of karma can flower into the blessings, challenges, and circumstances of the present. Next, we will get into the legacy of Plato and the Neoplatonic movement. And I will see you soon. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next one. I think it's 3.9. Bye-bye.